Bill and Juno, who were together in the dream, had discovered a mansion with a green roof beyond the forest. The fog around the mansion had completely cleared. "That's Lord Dylan's mansion," Villa said. "What, really?" "Oh no, in this state." Juno, who unexpectedly came in a bathrobe, was trying to smooth down his hair. "Let's go," Villa suggested. Okay." "Oh boy," Juno replied. The two headed towards what appeared to be Dylan's mansion and tried to enter, but the inside was completely empty. They circled around the building, headed to the garden. Villa exclaimed. Lord Villa." Dylan called out. "It is Lord Dylan." Villa responded. In the middle of the spacious garden was a round white table, and Dylan was sitting in a chair. Leas was also there beside him, which surprised Villa even more. Juno was also blinking, looking back and forth between the two. Leas exclaimed. Son, my son." Leas jumped up and ran to Juno, embracing him. "I've missed you, my son." Juno was confused at first, but eventually said, "Father, this is strange, but I'm surprised. Who would have thought we'd meet all four of us? Why are there four of us today?" Villa asked Dylan curiously. "Actually, Leia snuck into my bed tonight, insisting he wanted to meet Lord Villa too. I'm glad we met so quickly," Dylan explained. "My son." Leia was moved to tears, pressing his cheek against Juno's right hand. Juno looked a bit uncomfortable. He was also embarrassed to be the only one in a bathrobe. Both Dylan and Leia were properly dressed. "I wonder if Juno came because Lord Dylan and Lord Leia were together," Villa said, tilting his head. "My desire to meet my son came true." "Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad I could properly meet my son," Leia said, rolling up Juno's sleeve to look at the snake. "The color is faint," Leia noted. "I'm sorry, in the future our power is weaker, so it's like this," Juno explained. "Is that so? May I see Lord Leia's snake?" Juno asked. "Sure." Leias agreed easily, rolling up his left sleeve. "Wow!" Juno exclaimed in admiration at the magnificent color. "As expected, it's amazing. A man snake from the past, and it's so big too. How nice." The queen often said that men snakes from the past were amazing. It really is incredible. "Oh, thank you so much for giving me such an important snake, child," Juno said gratefully. "I'm the one who's happy that you're taking good care of it," Leias replied. The two started expressing their thanks deeply.
"Leia, shouldn't you ask about that?" Dylan urged, and Leia suddenly remembered, exclaiming, "That's right. What happened to my other son?" Leia asked. "Another one. I've been worried about another snake lately. I was afraid it might have died. That's why I slept with my brother." Lord Ishtar," Juno murmured, exchanging glances with Villa.
Lord Ishtar is, how should I put it?"
Well, Juno, unsure of what to say, left it to Villa. "Actually, Lord Ishtar almost died. He survived, but since then, the green snake child has disappeared from his skin. He's quite depressed about it," Villa explained. "What?" Both Leas and Dylan were clearly surprised. Before that, what kind of meeting is this? Left it to Villa. "Actually, Lord Ishtar almost died. He survived, but since then, the green snake child has disappeared from his skin. He's quite depressed about it," Villa explained. "What?" Both Leas and Dylan were clearly surprised. The snake disappeared.
"We think it might come back eventually,"
Juno said. Leia staggered, and Juno supported him. "Is that so? That's why I had that strange dream," Leia said.
"It's not certain that it died."
Juno reassured him, "But it's good that he himself is alive. If Lady Yuri didn't have to grieve like during the Druid incident, that's good," Dylan said.
"Indeed, we were sad for a while during the Druid incident.
Even now, I still dream about it. I realized how painful it is to lose a friend," Dylan continued. "At that time, both the Queen and Lady Sif were pitiful," Villa remembered. "The Queen worked really hard for Lord Druid's sake. At that time, I thought Lord Druid was a lucky person to be loved so much by the Queen," Juno added. As they were reminiscing about Druid, Dylan noticed someone watching them from the shadow of the building. The figure quickly hid, but Dylan looked. "What's wrong, brother?" Leia asked. "There was someone there." "Someone? Maybe someone else came. Why did they run away?" Dylan stood up and chased after the man. He saw a figure covered in white cloth fleeing to the far wall. "Leia, go around the other side."
"Yes."
As Leia cornered the figure from the opposite direction, the person crouched down and hid, still covered in a thick, quilt-like patterned material. Villa and Juno also arrived.
"Who is it?"
they asked.
"Who are you?"
Dylan asked, feeling a strange sense of familiarity from the suspicious person's aura. Leia also noticed it and was surprised. Could it be Druid?" Dylan said. Villa and Juno simultaneously exclaimed, Dylan yanked off the quilt. A man with blue hair was revealed, looking quite embarrassed as he faced Dylan. The face is different," Leia noted. "Who are you?" Dylan asked in a strained voice. Before that, what kind of meeting is this? Druid, now grown up as Heinrich's son, asked cautiously, looking at everyone. Druid resigned himself and stood up, still wrapped in a quilt. He was about as tall as Dylan, taller than the other three. Villa and Juno had blank expressions, not understanding what was happening. Leas's eyes and mouth were wide open in shock, while Dylan was trying desperately to remain calm.
We stumbled upon quite a scene. Juno said, "Lord Druid, is this how you looked?" Villa asked, having seen Druid's reflection in a mirror when he was with Yuri before. "No, the face is different. But it's Druid, tell us what's going on. This world shouldn't be maintainable for long. Explain clearly and concisely," Dylan said rapidly, clearly excited. It's understandable, given that a friend they thought dead had suddenly appeared in their dreams. "Can I sit down for a moment? And is there any clothing available?" Druid asked, scratching his cheek awkwardly. "There isn't, come here," Dylan said, leading Druid to the garden and making him sit in a chair. Dylan stood in front of him with his arms crossed, while the other three also stood nearby. Druid felt like he was being interrogated, looked uncomfortable. "I want pants," Druid said. "I can lend you mine if you want." Leas offered, but Druid declined with a "no, it's fine." He apparently didn't want to wear someone else's pants. Was Lord Druid sleeping naked? "It's good you at least have the quilt," Juno said. "I'm Juno. This is Villa. We're from the future," Juno introduced cheerfully. "Hello. Well, good evening since it's night, I guess," Druid said, turning to face them. Juno and Villa returned his greeting with friendly smiles. "How did the dreams connect?" Druid asked Dylan. "I don't know, I understand how we met these two, because they have the snake children from our skin snakes, but why you?" "Well, that doesn't matter now. What happened after you died back then? Why do you look like this?" "After I died, well, how should I put it? I touched the mystery of the soul," Druid said, closing his eyes. When does this dream end?" Druid asked, turning to Villa. "I'm not sure. Could it be that Lord Druid has reincarnated?" Villa asked, thinking it was the only explanation for his different appearance. "Well, to put it simply, I guess you could say that," Druid admitted casually. Leas and Juno exclaimed simultaneously. "You reincarnated? That's amazing! It's so moving," Juno said. "Being reborn as a handsome man is nice," Leas added enviously. "Is your voice similar to before? Even after reincarnation, the aura is the same, huh?" Leas said, staring intently at Druid. "If you've reincarnated, how do you have Druid's memories?" Dylan asked, maintaining his composure unlike Leas. "Doesn't it seem odd?" Dylan pressed. "Oh, right. How's my mother?" Druid suddenly asked, as if just remembering. "She's fine. Reincarnation was your mother's wish, so it's good it came true. Now, why do you have memories of being Druid?" "Well, I happened to meet Lady Gerber. And you know, the memories of when Lady Gerber possessed Yuri in the past came back. And with that, the memories of when I was Druid resurfaced," Druid explained. "Lady Gerber, is this true?" "It's true. That triggered me to remember various things." Lady Gerber.
The men were all surprised, but it seems they believed him. "So you're living now with memories of your previous life, is that right?" Leas asked for confirmation.
Well, I guess you could say that, Dylan. Did you cry a lot?"
"I'm sorry for making you cry," Druid said, looking up at Dylan.
"You fool, really." Dylan pressed his fingers to the corners of his eyes, seemingly recalling the time.
"You were already gone when the war ended." Everyone was shocked, Leas said, tearing up. "Your last words were so curt that His Majesty was angry," Dylan said, making Druid flinch. "Was he very angry?" "Very angry. Oh dear. Well, can't be helped, I suppose," Druid said, scratching his cheek. Juno was doing something with his hand to the side. "What are you doing?" Villa asked. "Well, doesn't Lord Druid's face somewhat resemble Lord Heinrich?" "I was trying to figure out which part, maybe the mouth or the nose." "You think so?" As the two started staring intently at Druid's face, he turned his face sideways, trying to hide behind his long hair. "I don't
think I have such a confident-looking face? Druid said awkwardly. The eyebrows might be similar, but Lord Heinrich looks strong. Willed from his face, Lord Druid has a gentler feel, doesn't he? Leah said. That's true. That guy has a strong-willed face, Dylan agreed. It would have been nice if Lord Heinrich could have come too. He would have been so happy, Leah said regretfully. Indeed, Druid would have wanted to meet Heinrich too, right? Well, Druid said while thinking to himself, Heinrich is the only one I don't want to meet. The scenery started to become blurry. It seemed morning was approaching in the real world. Druid, what era did you reincarnate into? Dylan asked hurriedly. It's time to say goodbye, farewell, Druid said, avoiding the question and waving his hand, seeming rather happy to finally be able to leave. Druid turned white, and everyone returned to their respective places.